tell us, sir, I mean, is this something you've been working on every day up until now?
Correct. I'll give you guys a brief overview from the very beginning to where we're at today. We were called to the crash. We weren't working that night. We were actually called out to investigate the accident on the night of December 20th, 2014. We arrived on scene and we're told that a pedestrian was struck. A vehicle that struck the pedestrian left the scene of the crash. And so all we had to deal with was the victim's friends that were on scene and roadway evidence that we had to go with. So we started investigating with what we had at the scene at the time of the crash, or the night of the crash, and pretty much it was a big puzzle. We had to put it all together. We had to look at the roadway evidence to determine where the victim was walking. Was he on the grass? Was he on the road? We had to determine if the vehicle that struck the pedestrian drove off the road or remained on the road. So there's a lot of little things that we had to put together to kind of come to a conclusion of what really occurred.
And at some point you all got a tip from what I was reading the police report. Somebody called in and tell us about that a little bit.
With the awesome help of the Palm Beach County Sheriff's Office, they were able to assist with providing us with some information that they received in regards to the suspected driver bringing her vehicle to body shops to fix the vehicle. With the information that they received, they went to kind of verify if this vehicle was it. They got there and they called us and said, "This is her vehicle." The damage was all consistent, and we responded out there. The damage, the physical evidence we had on scene that we obtained did match the vehicle that they located, and we were able to get a search warrant for the car and take the vehicle to evidence. That's the Mercedes. Correct. It's actually an orange Mercedes. And initially it was put out as a red Mercedes. And the reason was the witnesses on scene observed it as a red car. You look at the car and anyone can confuse it as a red car. It's kind of like a burnt orange color, if that makes sense. And so it's easily mistaken. Anyone can mistake it to be a red car.
In the police report, it says that she pulled over not far from the crash scene, actually showed up at the crash scene, never identified. Right. Tell me about that a little bit. Yeah,
she pulls into the fire station, makes it an effort to park all the way to where the employees of the firefighters park, which is enclosed in the fence compound is enclosed, but it was open, the gate. So she drives all the way to the rear of the fire station, gets out, jumps over a fence, and kind of walks towards the south side of the fire station. And it looks like she's walking towards the High Ridge Road where the scene of the crash was, but then turns around. And we lose sight of her in the video for a little bit, and then she returns moments later, walking back to her car, turns the car on.
Was she ever there at any point when officers were there? Because my understanding was she was there, she never identified herself, you guys were there, and what do you think about that? She
pretty much made herself appear as a bystander, in other words, because we were, again, doing our investigation, so whatever people that were there, we were closing it off, crime scene tapes being put up, also everyone needs to back away, so no one told anyone to leave. People were told just to kind of back away from the scene. So no one on scene, to include her, identified themselves as a party involved in the crash. Why is that? We don't know. That's a question that will always remain to us and we don't get an answer to right now. But she had an opportunity to come up and just simply say, "It was me. I was the one that drove the car." But when you put all little things together, as far as taking the extra time to pass all these other parking spaces, park to the rear of the fire station, jump a fence, and then take your time to go back to the scene, it doesn't make sense. That to me, it seems like you know what you did, and you just don't want to go back over there. So many thoughts are running through in your head. So again, I don't know her exact thoughts, but those actions speak louder than words. So.
Did the officers actually recognize her later?
Yes. Again, no one there, you know, is able to say that, you know, yeah. Once that the driver that we saw that we apprehended today, no one was able to say, well, that they didn't have that information at the time of the accident. They didn't have that information that night. We weren't able to know who it was. So for them to even know that that female was involved, you know, no one knew. So we just ended up later on in the investigation finding out who she was, and then we went back to those officers and kind of showed them what we call a photo lineup. And some of them were able to identify her on scene. We also have witnesses that did show up on scene and that were part of the event that they had at the high school, the Boynton Beach High School event, and who also arrived on scene and saw her there.
In hindsight, did she seem? Did she seem strange? Was she crying? Was she overly hysterical?
Today or
like at the time?
Well, the one of the witnesses says that she appeared very emotional and just shaken, nervous. But that was pretty much it.
It should be mentioned that she did have multiple opportunities to speak to multiple officers on scene to let them know that she was actually involved in this, and she just failed to do that.
Now, did she say to you guys, you know, she turned herself in and she said why she did it at the time?
No, her counsel has advised her not to say that as well, and she stayed true to that.
I know that she had a history of speeding on her driver's record. Do you guys think speed was a factor in this crash?
No, we
From
don't.
an investigation, no.
Do you think alcohol was a factor?
No, not at all. We know that she was coming from the basketball event at the high school. She is a cheerleading coach, and she was there at the event. We were able to prove that through numerous witness accounts, with video image civilians that from the high school event to put her there. They do not serve alcohol at the games. No one was able to, you know, even remotely say that she seemed impaired or anything like that. So I don't suspect that she was under influence. Well, she obtained an attorney, you know, and through the attorney, they've been they've been cooperative as far as, hey, we asked them for something, they respond. They've been staying in communication with us, but through the attorney. So.
What about the fact that this victim is 15-year-old and is cooperative? That's something that will on your heart?
This is one of those cases that hit home for me. It's very tough, you know. Also, Circle and I will tell you, we investigate, you know, crashes every day as part of our jobs. Even serious bodily injury crashes, fatalities. When it involves a child, you know, hits home, and you want to make sure that, that you do your best in the investigation, you work hard at it. Gratefully, the agency was able to change our schedules so that we can devote to this accident, to this investigation full time, and that helped a lot tremendously because it's kind of tough when you're still taking calls and still taking other crashes and still trying to investigate it. So we were able to put our full effort to this.
Because usually these investigations, at least it seems to us, take like 2 or 3 months.
Yeah, and the reason is, you know, the community, you know, I was getting a lot of phone calls and what's going on, when you guys are making an arrest. And the thing is, there's something called speedy trial. You know, if I make the arrest the next day, and for example, you know, that defendant has a right to speedy trial, which is 60 days. So that means that we can go to trial within 60 days. And if I don't have my ducks in a row, then, you know, we're going in there with a weak case. So it's always good to, especially a severe case like this, involving a child and someone that's dead. You know, you want to make sure that all your ducks are in a row, and that you go in there and you present the evidence to the state attorneys, and that they stay in the loop of what's going on. Once we make the arrest, then we go from there. You know, they can waive trial. Trial can probably go a year from now.
How does it feel to know after all these hours, days, tracking down this person you believe is responsible? How does it feel now to have it in our lives?
Well, it's the beginning. This is something that's going to take a little while to get over, I think. But the investigation doesn't stop today. This will continue. Officer Rivera and I still have a lot of paperwork to do on it. But cooperation of everybody that we've had, I think we're ready to go in. Excuse me, I think we're ready to go in this.
Yeah, we want to also extend our appreciation to the community themselves. You know, we received countless of tips, people just, you know, hey, I just saw this Mercedes. They're giving us tag numbers as they're driving. You could hear them, they're in traffic giving us tag numbers. So it was awesome that the community was able to help us out on this. We want to also extend our appreciation to the vehicle homicide unit for the Palm Beach County Sheriff's Office, detectives, investigators Snellgrove and Vic Fazino. Without their help, we wouldn't have been able to get that car. So, you know, it was just great teamwork, not from ourselves, but just the community, the Palm Beach County Sheriff's Office, a group effort.
I just have one last question. I just thought of. Did any of her friends, with her going to the body shop, have they talked to people about what really happened? I mean, did anyone come to you and say, you know, she told me this? Or?
No, not at all. No one really came to us. It took us from, you know, for us to find out and find us, you know, just kind of create, again, put this puzzle together and say, okay, this person was with this person. So, okay, so I had to go talk to this, you know, this person, or friends or whatnot that were at the event. So there was a lot of cheerleaders there too. So I had to go and kind of interview a lot of those cheerleaders to kind of get to know this person because, you know, she refused to talk to us. So I kind of had to, you know, get to know her through all her friends.
And what about the boy's family? Have you guys been in contact since, or after you guys made the arrest and she turned herself in? Any interaction?
Yeah, we, the mom, I've stayed in communication with the mom, giving her every update that, you know, any new updates we got. I've absolutely been keeping in touch with her. I spoke to her today, made her aware of the arrest.
What was her reaction?
She was, you know, very emotional and just very excited and happy that, you know, the person was brought to justice. You know, it's not over yet, you know, and I told her that. So, you know, there's a possibility that this will go to trial. So, but there's some sort of closure now that she knows that the driver is